Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Long time no see. Got a quick review of Columbia River knife and tool M16-03KS. I want to talk, we'll review it a little bit first, do like a first impressions quick review video, and then I want to talk about what my intentions were with buying this. Obviously this is a Crkt knife, and sorry, mosquitoes are really bad out here today, so I'm going to be swatting them a bit. This is a flipper, and it flips pretty easily, and it's a good little pocket knife, maybe a little bit oversized for some, but I had some specific requirements whenever I went to get this knife, and this is the best one I found that fit all my requirements. So like I said, it's flipper, opens pretty easily. It's a frame lock, and it's got a clip that is not only reversible, but you can also flip it side to side, so you can carry it tip up, tip down, left hand, right hand, doesn't really matter. As far as specs go, it's just over, the blade length is just over 3.5 inches, 3 inches and 552 thousandths to be exact, and it is the steel is whatever you call that stuff, the 12C27. The finish is black oxide. I'm not sure if I like that or if I don't like it, but you know, I think it's kind of cool. Low reflectivity, I suppose. The thickness is 118 thousandths. I'm not exactly sure where they're measuring that on the blade thickness. Closed, so down in your pocket, it's over 4.5 inches, 658 thousandths, 4 inches, 658 thousandths. The overall length is 8.25, and then the weight on it is 3.8 ounces. So they've got a smaller version that I think might be a better fit for a lot of folks. I can't remember the blade length on it. It's like I think it's just over 3 inches, and it's a little bit lighter. I think it's like a 2.5 ounce knife or something like that. And but the clip is, if I remember right, the clip is situated in one position and you can't move it. So that was why I didn't get it. I wanted to be able to move the clip around. I haven't done it yet, but this is tip down, right hand carry, I suppose you'd call it, and I kind of want to try it out tip up, where I can basically, you know, pull it out of my pocket and have my forefinger down here. Right now I've got to pull it out and then kind of adjust it in my hand before I can flip it, you know. So MSRP on these is about 60 bucks, but you can pretty much pick them up for, you know, $35. I think I got it for just under 35 off of Amazon after tax and shipping and whatnot. So so as far as my first impressions, I like that it's lightweight, it's pretty thin in your pocket. I can carry it, and it's, like I said, it's a little bit long for, you know, some folks preferences perhaps, but for me, even in I've got a pair of pants that has a little bit shallower of a pocket, and the worst thing that happens is when I sit down, sometimes it kind of like rotates in my pocket and I have to adjust it. But the clip is pretty strong. It's not a super deep clip, which I think might bother some folks, but for me, it's not a problem, and this clip is held onto the pocket of my pants pretty easily. So much so that I've got to pull it out with some authority. It's not hard to pull out, I just have to pull it out with some authority. And sometimes on a couple of pairs of pants I have, I'll reach into my pocket and I'll kind of tug on this, and that gives me a good stop to pull against, and it also sort of opens it up a little bit. So I'll just reach my thumb in my pocket and put my forefinger like that and just pull, and as I pull, I sort of like flex my forefinger, and it'll come right out, and then I can shift it and flip it open. Another thing that I like, I'm a big fan of these flippers that have the, you know, they wind up being a dual purpose. It's a flipper, and it sort of is a positive stop for your forefinger so that you don't slip up on the blade. But I also like that I can push the frame lock over and then push the blade up, and if I'm close to the frame lock, which you kind of got to be close to get it pushed over, that also acts as a stop, so I can't close the blade until I shift my thumb out of the way, which means that I can close it pretty safely one-handed. And it takes a couple of moves to do it, but you know, I'm not in a big hurry to close it. I'm in a hurry to open it. Usually is the way that works. So, but I don't like having my finger in the way of the blade when I close it. But the frame lock and the flipper stud there offers a way to safely close it and not get your finger. So. I actually bought a Gerber 1 flip for my son. It was on clearance, luckily, because it's not as good of a knife, and we got it for $15. And you know, I've been teaching him, you know, make sure that you get that liner lock out of the way with your finger really close to the flipper, because I don't want you closing it on your hand. So I really like the flipper for those two reasons. What else was I talked about the clip. Like a lot of knives have these thumb studs. This is not a thumb stud. This is a stop. I mean, you can sweep it out with your hand. Like if you flip this out and it doesn't go all the way, you can sweep it out with your thumb. But it is right up against this, you know. So that is what stops the knife going in, and actually I think the lock actually stops it going out, but this offers a secondary stop. There's some blade flex a little bit, but I don't have any detectable like wobble in the pivot mechanism. There may be a little bit, but I can't really tell, you know, laterally or side to side. Up and down, it's a really solid lock. So it is a really well put together knife. I'm super happy with it. It's got some ridges up here so you can put your thumb on it. I'm sort of agnostic on those. I like them, but I don't know how much they add to the grip. You know, not really sure. The blade, it showed up pretty sharp. It's not as sharp as it could be, but it's pretty sharp. And I've used it on some wood items and some paper and some cloth and things like that. I've used it on a few things here and there, trim my nails or my cuticles a little bit and all that good stuff. So that is that. And like I said, they've got a lot of different of these M16 knives with different points. They've got a tanto, whatever you call them. They've got them with different blade materials. They've got them with different handle materials. This is one of the cheaper versions, I would say, in this size. And of course, you know, because you can get them with stainless handles and all kinds of stuff. So this is one of the cheaper versions. I think it's going to hold up just as well as the others. And you know, as far as, you know, you could get a tanto if you wanted. My dog's wanting to get in the shot here. Get in there. He's wanting some attention. All right, go away. So you can get a wide variety of these, and it's kind of confusing looking at these part numbers or model numbers here. This is a Kit Carson design. I like Kit Carson's designs. They're at Crkt. They've got some that I don't like so much, and his I really like. There's not too many of his that I don't like. They've got a lot of different versions. Some even have like studs out both sides. They're bigger knives. They've got, I think that's one of the M21 variants. It's a bigger one than the M16. So anyway, my criteria were that I want it to be at least a 3-inch blade. I wanted it to be as light as possible, as thin as possible, as strong as possible. I wanted the blade to hold an edge but not chip. I don't want it to be so hard that it, you know, and there's a lot of really good steels out there that are pretty hard and hold a good edge for a long time but don't chip. I just wanted it to be one of those that's not going to chip and it's going to hold an edge. Had to be a flipper. And then I think that was the biggest stuff, and I'm not going to spend $150 on a knife, even an everyday carry knife. I know a lot of people would say that you spend whatever you got to spend to get the right knife. I'm not going to do it. So for me, I was willing to go up to $60 or so if I had to, but I was really looking for something under 40, and this definitely hit the mark. I'm super happy with this knife, I have not had an everyday carry knife in a very long time. Well, I say that, I've been carrying a box cutter for years, and these are super handy, and I got pretty good. I mean, now compared to this guy, this is like gritty and nasty, which it's not meant to be a quick opening knife, but I got pretty good at flipping these open, and I can't even do it now because I've been playing around with this Columbia River one for so long. But I was using this. This was my everyday carry knife for a long time. I don't like lockback knives because as I'm gripping them, sometimes this one's not so bad, but I've got another one where when I'm cutting drywall with it or something, if I push too hard, it'll actually unlock. The good thing about these is you never have to sharpen them. You just pop the blades out with the. No, I got to lift that up further. This one's kind of grimy, but you just pop the blade out and put a new blade in, and go off to the races. So I'll do stuff with this knife that I will not do with this knife. In fact, you can see the tip is chipped a little bit there because I will pry things with this and cut things I shouldn't cut with it, and I don't really care. So this was my everyday carry knife for a long time, and I really felt like I needed something that was an actual knife. Longer blade, thinner. Like this is way thinner than this. Well, it's thinner. It may not be way thinner, but and this really fit my criteria. Also in the running, there were some Kershaw knives that I thought would be good options, and I was really looking at that Gerber one flip, and I'm kind of glad that I didn't get it, because after I bought it for my son, it was too fat and too heavy, and it doesn't flip open as well. I may do a review on that as well at some point. One negative aspect to this knife, it's not really negative, it's just something I'm not real keen on, are the holes. They collect lint, they get stuff stuck in them. Not bad, but it's just something I'm not a huge fan of. But it does lighten the knife up, so I know that's kind of the purpose, and some people think it looks cool. It does look cool, but it's not one of the things that I'm just super keen on. I think that is about it for that knife, and I hope I didn't leave anything out. If anybody has any questions or comments, feel free to throw them in there,